Welcome to the channel. We've had to cancel another touring holiday this year. The car's developed to fault with the suspension again, as it did in March of this year, and it's gone in and I'm carless. So this has given me the opportunity to release this video on the project I did in January. Put all the clips together and made a video up, and it relates to storage of caravan and tow car related products. So without further ado, here it is. I'm stood here at the back of the car side of the garage, and it's along this rear wall. I'm going to have a 3.6 metre run of cupboards. So it'll consist of base units, cupboards, which will go right up to this wall, worktop, new inset sink because this will go, matching wall units with under unit lighting so I can see what I'm doing on my worktop, sockets, and plinth lighting so I can see the rear of the car, and of course a plinth heater to keep you warm in winter. I've got an electric water heater in this sink. It's a 6 kilowatt instant water heater, so as soon as you turn the tap on it senses the flow and it turns the element on and it's instant. So this will be transferred into the new sink, so if you come closer in you'll be able to see the little water heater unit. I'm also keeping these taps because there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. I'm going to transfer them over to the new sink. I've taken the old sink out. There's the waste pipe, the water feed and the electrical supply for the water heater. That's on its own circuit breaker and that's isolated, and I've also taped the ends up. Everything's arrived, rigid units, handles, lighting, doors, so we're ready to start. Andrew's making a good job of fitting the base units. There's an integrated washer going there, so it'll be a second washing machine. Worktop's in position. It just needs this end scribing so it fits up against this irregular wall, so you know it'll slide up and fit against it. And then there's around 400mm to cut off this end, so there's not much waste at all out of a 4.1 metre worktop. This is a standard worktop which is 600mm deep, while Howden's worktops are 616mm deep to suit their base units. So what Andrew's done is pulled it forward, so he's going to pack it out because we're going to have an upstand at the back cut from a second worktop and then a shelf over the top of that. So I'll have a wider shelf at this back so it'll all match in. There are the drawers, sink unit. Made an access point to get to the cables down there. Washing machine position. 3 cupboards. We're marking out for the sink using masking tape. That's the sink aperture cut out. What's this for, Andrew?
Stop water getting in.
So that stops the water getting into the chipboard. Right, we're fitting the instant water heater back under the sink.
Yeah.
Putting the elbow on.
That's for the cold feed to the heater. That's the hot tail to the hot tap. Coal's already connected. And then we're just going to put the waste on.
And that hole at the back is for the
isolator.
Isolator
for the cold feed.
For cold feed.
That's
yeah.
the isolator for your feed in. Right. I'm just putting wall brackets up now to get the wall units on.
They're tall hob units, aren't they?
Yeah.
Tall
yeah,
hob units.
570i. So
yeah.
I'm making noise now.
The reason for the tall hob units is so we could get them underneath this beam on both sides, and then they would line up with the base units. Wall units are going on nicely. Just this corner one was a little bit awkward, having to cut round the pillar. This is the upstand, and the shelf sits over the top and overhangs 10mm.
I'm just grabbing this to the wall now. When I cut it, I can angle it a bit to stop having a straight cut so it doesn't hit against the stone.
So we'll lift it off and trim that back now along the line. We're channeling out the back of the upstand for the conduits that run from socket to socket. This is the socket back box, and I'm connecting them together with this Flexicon conduit, 25mm. Set in this groove. So if I cut it on that line, I'm using a plumbing push fit cutter. It's ideal. Makes a perfect cut. And that can fit in there. We're fixing the upstand in place as the grid switch back box with all the conduits going down underneath the access point. The water heater isolator switch is in place. That'll need cutting off because that's for the lighting, for the under unit lighting up here behind this light strip. Sockets, conduit going down. And that crosses there and comes up behind the access point. Another socket, and we're bonding the upstand in place with this adhesive. End panels in place. We're bonding the shelf in place. That's the cable going through for the under unit lighting. Comes up in that corner. The end filler piece is in. I had to scribe it around the wall, and the same for the wall units. Well, Andrew's coming back tomorrow. I want to get this electrical conduit in because he's going to be fitting the plinths with the plinth heater and plinth lighting. In fact, this is the plinth lighting. It's the maxi ones. They're slightly larger than normal. Because it's not for a feature, it's because I want a bit more illumination up against the back of the car for when I'm doing jobs on the car, like, you know, cleaning and polishing and so on. So we've got to get this done. We're working on getting the integrated washing machine in. The door hinge positions. We've got to get the transport bolts out. That's these. Putting the blanking plugs in where the transport bolts were. Washing machine's a perfect fit. Plumbing it in. Cupboard doors are going on, looking very smart. Andrew's making a brilliant job. Cupboard door handles are on. There's just the 3 drawer handles. This is the connection point for the plinth heater. So the cable will come up this one, and then that cable will go through to the switch. Look at the conduits under there. So the plinth heater flex goes up this one here. We're fitting the plinths, that's the heater cut out. We're fitting a removable panel there to get to the water drain filter. And there's another cut out there for another plinth heater. We're marking out for the plinth lighting. There's 10 maxi lights, each individually wired. They plug into the junction box. Just take the rubber bung out, and the driver plugs into the junction box, and then plug it into the mains. There are the instructions. So drilling out for the maxi lights in Plinth. Doing the finishing touches, sealing the upstand against the worktop. That's it, it's all finished, just the plinth lights to put in. So thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome, Rob. Thank you, Gail. Thanks for the tea.
You're welcome.
And fitting the plinth lights, I'll show you how I've run the wires down the back of the plinth to keep it tidy, and I'll show you how the lights actually fit into the holes. The lights have got little spring clips at the side, and that's what holds them into the hole, so you can just push them straight in. And then you can easily push them out from the back if you need to change them. I've used 25mm conduit saddles to run the wiring through, so it makes it easier to pull the wiring out if ever you have to change one of the lamps. I'm using colour white and warm white. So each alternate one is a colour white and then a warm white, and the warm white will be on its own switch and the colour white will be on its own switch. And as you can see, there's a lot of wiring. I've bundled them up. Shouldn't be a problem because it's only low voltage. These junction boxes, these two, I've left the blanks in because we've got 8 of each. So there's 2 blanks there, 2 blanks there. That meaning I've got 4 lights spare in total. And then these are run by the drivers. The other one is under there. And they'll be plugged in here. And I'll be able to get access to the drivers and junction boxes through this access point. So we'll get the plinths back on and do a test run. I've had to take these saddles off of this piece of board here because it's fouling on the washing machine, so I'm using these self-adhesive clips with little tie wraps. I'm hoping that should do it. I've rigged it up with an extension cable and I'll switch on the warm white. And now I'll show you the cool white. That's the cool white. And now put them both on. Should be plenty of light there to work on the back of the car. So this is it, all finished. Car care products in one cupboard, Caravan products in another cupboard. I know it's a kitchen in a garage and it's not one of those bespoke steel Dura-Garage systems, but I think it's okay, and it should look better once the sockets are fitted and the grid switch system's been fitted. I would have wired it up by now, but the wiring for this project leads on to another project I'm doing, but I'm waiting for an electrician for that. But on the next video we'll be back touring, so thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.